Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's 1 million by 1 million strategy roundtable for entrepreneurs. 1M, as you know, is the first and only global virtual accelerator for technology startups in the world. I run it from Silicon Valley, but our team is all over the world. The entrepreneurs are all over the world, and you will meet many people from many different corners of the world today. Bruno, whom I was just speaking to in Spanish and asking him not to speak in Spanish, is dialing from Peru. So anyway, this has been an amazing experience. Since 2008, we've been doing these roundtables. This is the 701st session. And pretty much we've been here every Thursday for many years, except maybe 3 or 4 Thursdays during the year. And all recordings are available on YouTube. Today, I want to start by pointing you to something really exciting that's happening. We have just introduced My Digital Mind, an AI mentor for startups. So if you go to Delphi AI's Ramana Mitra, the link is on your screen. Maureen will put that link in the public chat as well. You can talk in private to My Digital Mind. And this is AI that is trained on the last 20 years of my writings, mentoring sessions, curriculum lectures, case studies, and everything. So it's private. That's an interesting thing about this is it's entirely private. You can, these roundtables are public, but this session is completely, this AI mentor is completely private, and you can do it on your own schedule. The way I kind of jokingly say this is you have me in your pocket 24 hours a day. So use it and enjoy it. I hope you make lots of progress. We're going to start today's session with a conversation with Ihar Mahaniok, managing partner at Geek Ventures. Ihar is a longtime angel investor turned VC. Ihar, welcome to the program and great to meet you.
Thank you, Ramana. I'm really glad to be here. And yeah, happy to chat about investing. This is something I've been really passionate for the last 15 years of my life. And bringing some engineering background to it and immigrant background to it is also important.
Now, where are you originally from?
I'm from Belarus. I used to live in Switzerland for a bit, and then I moved to the US 12 years ago.
And you were based in New York?
I'm based in New York, that's correct.
Okay. All right. So let's start with, since this is your first appearance in this program, tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to Geek Ventures. I know you did a lot of angel investing before starting Geek Ventures, but even before that, what were you doing?
So I was fascinated by technology since early childhood. I was fortunate to have access to a computer since I was 5, and I started coding when I was 12, and it was clear to me that I would go to computer science program in the university. And then after college, I joined Google back in 2007. Moved to Switzerland, and at Google I was engineering. I was working as an engineer and specifically working on different ranking, recommendations, and machine learning problems, starting with Google search, continuing with maps personalization, Android personalization, and so on. While at Google, I realized that just being an engineer was a bit too limiting for me, and I was interested to go explore more of the business side of things, and that's what led me to attend a lot of conferences, meet a lot of founders, and eventually use this network to start investing as an angel. When I started investing as an angel, I was able to basically develop stronger relationships, to learn more about how the businesses operate from CEO's point of view, and pass insights from one company to another, all while helping those companies to interact with Google and other big tech. I moved to the US and then switched to work at Facebook. and was working there again on machine learning problems. I went up the engineering leadership ladder while continuing to invest as an angel. Most interesting from angel perspective, I did about 60, 70 investments, and 5 of them went all the way to be unicorns from seed, right? So the most famous one is Instacart, and PandaDog is another one where the founders are also from Belarus as me. And there are also companies like Airbyte, People AI, and Jeeves. So I also worked a bit in a startup where the called Lightning AI. I joined at a seed stage. I was VP of engineering. They're responsible for growing the engineering and AI research team. Grew the team to 30 people, helped to raise a big round from Index Ventures. And I felt that it was time for me to start something new, right? So, and while I did consider for a bit becoming a founder, CEO, building a startup, raising venture from VCs, I realized that both my network, my experience, and my passion lead me much more to actually being an investor full time. So that's how 4 years ago I decided to start a VC firm. And I landed on a name Geek Ventures. I landed on a thesis of investing in immigrant founders. And both of these are really reflecting me. I always feel I'm a geek, and being an engineer, being like really deep thinker is a part of me. And I also like to invest in geeks. And I also an immigrant, and I like to invest in immigrant founders. And I think this is both where the value is for the LPs, because the immigrants are statistically have higher chance of success, but it's also where we can help, right? So because they're often underfunded, overlooked, and we know that talent is distributed evenly, but opportunity is not. Over the last 4 years, leading Geek Ventures, we have invested in about close to 60 companies already in our portfolio, and quite a few of them have gone and raised significant rounds after us. And we are right now focusing mostly on AI and robotics companies, investing at pre-seed and seed. So we do
How
about
big
one investment.
is the Geek Ventures fund?
$23 million.
10 million?
$23 million.
$23 million. Okay.
Yeah.
$23 million. All right. And what size checks do you write? These pre-seed and seed checks, what size?
So we are our range is between 100 and K and a million. Most often about $500,000.
Okay. Now, I want to understand a little bit of how you find companies. So you talked about 5 unicorns that you invested in as an angel investor, 2 of which we have had here in our Entrepreneur Journey series, People AI and PandaDoc we've had here in our Entrepreneur Journey series. So I know those companies, those case studies pretty well. How did they come to you, or how did you get to them?
So a lot of this is about a mix of utilizing my network and being curious and reaching in outbound. So PandaDoc was actually in a way an outbound for me. I was going online looking at a lot of information about startups, and I came across a pitch competition. And there are a lot of pitch competitions, right? But I looked at this particular pitch competition. PandaDoc was a winner. I looked at their deck. I saw that it was interesting in a space. It was very early. They were like 3 people company, but they already had the initial revenue. Probably they had like a couple clients. I reached out to them, and they wanted to talk to me. And that was very interesting. That was a time when they were about to move to the US. And while they already had revenue, they had less access to investors. So they were actually, it was a very good match, because for me, it was obvious that the guys know what they're doing. They're very, very shrewd in terms of both business and product development. And they would benefit from me stepping in as an angel with some of my connections. Back then, of course, I had fewer connections than now, but still I could help them a bit. And yeah, so I ended up investing in the very first round. With People AI, it was a very clear case of strong network. It was actually a case where another founder of a company that I didn't invest, but we had a really good relationship, introduced me to them. It was a founder of a company called PetCube. You might have heard, also Ukrainian founder. I had a very good relationship with the founder of PetCube, and he emailed me, "Hey, Ihar, take a look at this company. A friend of mine is doing it, and you need to talk to them." And I talked to Oleg, CEO of People AI. At that point, again, it was a 2 or 3 people company. They were very early. They actually didn't have any revenue, but that was the most convincing conversation I had in my life, probably, right? So in 30 minutes, he completely floored me with his both background and ability to sell. And I was absolutely sure that he will be able to hire, he will be able to sell, he'll be able to build a product. And I invested in the first round, and a couple of weeks after I invested, they got accepted to Y Combinator, and right after Y Combinator, they got around with Andreessen Horowitz, and then yeah, they went on.
Mm. And when you talk about investing in AI, double click down for me. Of course, People AI is an early AI company. When you invest in AI, what is your investment thesis in AI?
So the main thesis is disruption, right? Disruption and efficiency and optimization, right? So, for example, right? So we invest in AI in many legacy sectors, but think about, let's say, healthcare. This is a sector that existed for obviously like thousands of years, right? So people need healthcare, people pay for healthcare. Right now in the US, healthcare healthcare spend as a whole is about $1 trillion. Or even more, right? So what does it mean? What's the majority of this spend? The majority of this spend is actually salaries of people that do work like inefficiently, right? Some of these are very important, efficient work that's like not replaceable, like surgeons and so on. But a lot of this work is administrative, right? So a lot of this work is paperwork, like with actual paper, with faxes, or Excel spreadsheets or ERPs and so on. So the question is, how much of this $1 trillion of spend could be made more efficient, right? We obviously see that with AI, we can write emails faster, right? So we can schedule calendar events faster, right? This is obvious that everybody can do, right? We can write notes, like for example, we can collect notes from the meetings faster. Where are the efficiencies in specific jobs, and where is the time savings? And often you save time and by AI, and the company that is making the solution, the software AI solution that saves significant time, can charge way less than the client already spends, and still bring the same value or even more value, right? So, and this is basically the main angle, right? So we are looking at legacy industries that are not enough like enabled by tech. Some of them, again, use still pre-internet, pre-technology, pre-computer things like paper and fax, and some use internet, but they use it very primitive, like Excel from the 90s, and see where we can optimize this, right? So this is a very big investment thesis. That's on vertical AI. There is a second big investment thesis on horizontal AI, and this is about building tools that help other companies build AI internally, right? So this is, for example, we recently invested in a company that does cybersecurity for AI, right? So this company itself doesn't optimize anything, but they create a framework, the scaffolding for their clients to be able to run AI agents inside that are fully audited, that have proper permissions, that are protected from being able to delete important information or access information that can't access and so on. So because a lot of their clients need to implement AI, right? And then our third main focus around AI is about robotics. And this is what we call AI in physical world, right? Robotics existed for a long time. Of course, there were some robots 10, 20 years ago. But now with AI, we see much more automation and like actual smart behaviors possible with robots. It's now less about moving similar to a human, right? So like joints and so on, and much more, can this robot physical device distinguish between, is it a cup? Is it a plate, right? So do I need to, I don't know, wash this cup? Is it dirty or not? Like that kind of like stuff that is only possible with AI, right? So and we are looking at that.
So let's take a few of your investments through Geek Ventures that fit into these three buckets of investment thesis, and let's do some case studies. And as you were talking about them, double click down on how they found you or how you found them, and what was it about them that made you decide to write the check?
So, okay, let's, for example, talk about the company Cytronic. It's still pretty early. We invested last year, and that company uses robots to build fully automated warehouses, right? So, and what their service is fulfillment. They offer their customers are e-commerce companies that need their stuff to be shipped to the car. And their customers already use 3PL warehouse services. And there are a lot of 3PL warehouses that operate with a lot of labor. I think overall 3PL warehouse market in the world is about $1 trillion. And I think it's about 200 billion just in the US. And what Cytronic has identified is that right now, the robots, both physical devices themselves and the AI for them, are strong enough to actually replace humans and make it significantly cheaper, like 10x, 20x or more cheaper than humans. And they work 24/7, and they can operate in different kind of spaces. They're not limited by, for example, how humans are limited by their height and so need to sit down and so on. So, and that company is fairly early. They're building out, and they are already. It's already clear that they are on the way to having the best, amazing solution. How did I find them? It's very interesting because it was a combination of multiple things, right? So a few of my friendly VCs pointed me out to, hey, this guy who has previously built other two companies, these two guys, actually founders, who previously built other two companies in fulfillment, e-commerce fulfillment space, building a new company. And their previous companies were Warehouse and Ship. And another angle that I was actually an investor in a warehouse as well. So I knew the founders through that angle, right? So, and it was very interesting. It was both direct network where I knew the company they were founded before, and I was alerted to this through my warm network that I keep very strong with a lot of other VCs. And why I invested very, very early, why we as Geek Ventures invested, it was a very good mix of very ambitious vision, right? So it's like these guys are building at least a unicorn, maybe decacorn in a space that's like $1 trillion market. They are fairly unique, so there's not many credible competitors yet, and they have the best possible founder market fit, right? So they knew the market in and out. They know the customers. They know the pains. They know exactly what needs to be done.
Do they come from that industry, from the
Yes.
retail industry?
That's exactly what I was saying, right? So they were there are two previous companies that they worked on probably for 10 years. Were in fulfillment, yes.
And what was the idea? Were they, or are they, buying robots from other robotics providers, or are they going to do their own robots?
So I cannot go too deep into how it works, right? So, but as always, it's some sort of a mix, right? So the idea there is that they need to do everything they could to build the most efficient, effective solution in a space that existed for a while, like warehouses and logistics and shipments have existed before internet and before AI. And the question is, how can you make it more efficient?
So let me ask you a slightly broader trend question based on this case study that you just took us through, which is really exciting and interesting. There is a lot of talk right now in the industry about, full vertical AI solutions in all kinds of different industry spaces, right? So how do you see that playing out? Is it going to be, there is also, like General Catalyst is kind of doing private equity deals on vertical solution companies, and then their thesis is to gut it all out and put AI into the whole company and then take it from there. That's their vertical AI thesis. There's also vertical AI products being developed that are being sold to those kinds of companies, et cetera, et cetera. They're all variations of vertical AI thesis floating around. What is your vertical AI thesis?
So I actually would separate this into two separate buckets. One is vertical AI software, and one is AI services. The biggest difference is that vertical AI software is sold to clients, to businesses that are using the software to deliver service, right? So for example, if a company is doing AI voice agents for healthcare, they are not doing healthcare. They're selling the voice agents to company that does healthcare, right? So, and that's vertical AI software. In a way, this is an iteration of software as a service, like SaaS, but is very, very clearly focused on significant savings and efficiency. And this is a big part of what we do. And this is where it's important that they are understanding their clients. And this is where a lot of still like SaaS approaches can go, right? So like payment by seat or payment by usage and so on. There is a separate bucket, which is AI services. And this is where there is a final service where the client gets a service instead of a software. And what is interesting there is that AI services companies, when they provide service, their client doesn't really care if that's done by AI or by human, right? So the most obvious example that a lot of companies started doing is trying to do AI recruiting service, right? So like, so you could hire a recruiting agency and they will find you candidates for your job, right? So, and you as a client, you don't necessarily care if they use the human to to manually look for these candidates, or they use the AI to automatically look for those candidates. The end result is the same, you get candidates, right? This is separate from vertical AI software, right? So where you actually...
That's right.
So,
it's a business process outsourcing.
Yeah.
AI business process outsourcing.
So what is important there is that vertical AI software is an evolution of SaaS, and SaaS itself was very much venture backable for a long time. And obviously PandaDoc and People AI are both SaaS solutions, right? So, and these companies have been around for a long time, and both of them are now even more and more AI first. While service companies for a long time were not really venture backable, because typically service companies involved a lot of operational and labor overhead, which meant that they couldn't grow as fast as the others. Now, though, you can build AI services company much faster because you just need to hire less people, and therefore they become venture backable. And this is what the story you said about General Catalyst and other VC firms that do roll-ups, right? So they would buy...
two different categories, though. I think the roll-up story and the services story are not necessarily the same.
They're not necessarily the same, but they're kind of...
They're two different buckets still.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot. The services part, we've covered quite a bit. And what's one of the things that's happening in India right now is because of India's services industry, IT services background, there's a natural fit on AI services. And there's a lot of interesting companies coming out with that model of providing AI solutions, but it's a service, basically. It's some service that is built on top of their own intellectual property, but it's instead of selling software, they're selling the full solution.
This is, yeah. And let's not go into roll-ups. That's also not focus for us. But AI services are definitely a focus for us.
Yeah.
And if you come back to the company I spoke about, Cytronic, in the end, this is also AI and robotics service because their clients buy fulfillment. Their clients pay, per fulfilled package, and the clients don't care if a human puts their SKU in a package or a robot does. They only want to work with Cytronic because Cytronic is cheaper and more efficient and faster, right? So, and similarly, I see a lot of potential in AI services in all sorts of world, right? So like be it accounting or legal services and so on, so right? So anywhere where you order a service which is somewhere remote and typically done by a human can be now replaced, right? So for example, of course, right now, this is mostly the things like, white collar office work, like again, accounting or legal, but we can get to the world where AI services could go into like front office, things like
so let me ask you an
receptionist,
interesting
so yeah.
Let me ask you an interesting question. We have companies like this in our portfolio, really interesting, exciting companies. And there is a question that these companies have to answer, which is which go-to-market strategy, which business model do they, go with? Do they go with the selling software to the client's business model, or do they go with the selling services to the end customer's business model? Because they could do either in many cases.
That's a very good question. And to me, the right answer would be about where do you have better sales connections, sales experience, and where does your sales pitch land better, right? So, and for example, right, so if you have connections, like let's say a lot of accounting firms, then maybe better to sell accounting software to accounting firms because these are the clients they might already know you might already have a lot of reputation there. But let's say you are building accounting software, but you don't know many accounting firms. Maybe then, but instead a lot of just regular startups of general kind. Then instead you go and try to sell accounting services to those companies instead of selling to accounting firms. So I think, by the way, in general, I think that we don't like to be in a position to advise on very like this high level, big questions on go-to-market. We like to invest in companies where they know what go-to-market they have, where they have some unfair advantage on go-to-market. And my advice to founders, like think where do you have unfair advantage on go-to-market? Because right now, especially in this world where writing software became more and more automated, it became less and less of differentiation. Your main differentiation is go-to-market, network, sales. So you should think where your special advantage is and go to those customers.
Great answer. I will give you one other nuance to how our companies are making this decision. They're also thinking about exit strategy.
Yeah.
Because this complete vertical ground up thing is new, and that has less exit potential in some cases, in a lot of cases, than building the software as a service or pure software companies, and they would have easier exit paths. And that is also a consideration that people are making. And I'll give you one other thought process that are going on in our portfolio, at least, is that what is the schedule in which AGI happens? This is a question that is being discussed a lot in the venture circles right now, is that, if AGI comes in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, each of those make a very different strategy, or steer towards a very different strategy than, otherwise.
Yeah.
So,
this is right. So I don't know when AGI happens, right? So what is important is that AGI is still about thinking, right? So it's so maybe if AGI happens, and by the way, we are not sure that it actually will ever happen, right? From VC perspective,
I am surrounded by AGI bulls, but I'm also surrounded by people who think that no, it's not going to happen.
I need to operate in I need to operate on both.
You have to consider both. From what we
consider
do,
both,
we
of
have to
course.
consider both, yes.
So from my perspective, if it's very important to build out the mode that doesn't necessarily depend on thinking, right? And this is where every company we invest in, we are immediately thinking, how does it compete against future open AI solutions that will have potentially much better thinking, much better AGI? And the biggest important thing there is, does the workflow look unique in terms of, like, for example, right, AI for healthcare would have already the company that we would invest would have angle to solve regulatory challenges, right? So they would have solved integration challenges, right? So, and obviously
integration is a good mode. Integration is a very good mode.
The most thinking model is not integrated, and didn't solve the regulatory challenges, so it cannot do it. And then there is another thing, is connections, right? And knowing people, right? And knowing people also means like having their data, having data modes, having customers and so on. So it's thinking about, like, you can hire let's say for your head of sales, you could hire Einstein and he will fail, even though he is one of the smartest humans in the world, right? Because he doesn't necessarily have the right connections or the right experience of doing that particular job, right? So, and the connections is a big part of what we see, right? So that's basically connected to data mode.
Good point. The data mode is also becoming a little bit tricky because of the synthetic data that is now becoming very easily available and accessible. So that one is starting to get a question mark against it. Data moat was a big moat for a while, and now that's starting to come under question. This is a great conversation, Ihar. Thank you for coming. We'll have you back. I know you have to run. And
thank you, Sonawane.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, and I'm really glad to be here. And thank you for your engaging questions. I really enjoyed it.
Same here.
Thank you.
Folks, we're going to switch to the entrepreneur pitch section. Ihar has to run, but we will continue. Remember, this is a safe working session. You don't need to be nervous. You don't need to be defensive. I'm completely on your side. Everybody here is working on something, and our job is to help you accelerate your journey and remove obstacles from your path. So if you disagree with what you hear today, you can disregard everything you hear. I recommend you don't, because it comes from a lot of experience, so at least consider it. But ultimately, it is your venture, so you get to decide what you will do with your venture. Shantanu Sonawane from Pune, India is our first presenter. Shantanu, please unmute your line and get started.
Thank you, Samara. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Sure.
I'm Shantanu Sonawane from India, and I'm a founder of AvQuint Innovations Private Limited. So first of all, I'll explain this name, why AvQuint. So AV is derived from Avinya, and Avinya is innovation in Sanskrit. So Sanskrit is Indian language, ancient language, and Avinya meaning is innovation in Sanskrit. So AV is derived from that Avinya, and quint is for quintessential. So that's how we got the name AvQuint. Thank you. So innovations that's quintessential is our slogan, company slogan. So currently we are into development phase, and we haven't launched our any product yet. But yeah, and currently we are developing one product in car industry. So this is like automatic car cover systems.
So and, is this is this a product that you're designing on your own, or is it for a client?
So it is the product I'm designing. I'm on your own, like from scratch we are designing this. So in team I this myself, I am a first generation entrepreneur, and sorry, it's okay. The problem is
Did you
we
want to
are
talk
solving
about,
right now.
did you want to talk about your background first?
Yeah, that's the behind. Yeah,
Go
thank
ahead.
you. So I have started this from a garage. There is no financial support for me from my surrounding and all. So I went to one garage, and he helped me to work on this concept. I developed this from scratch. I made my team by myself, and
So what is the
people
product?
are
Let's go to the
working.
product. What is the concept of your product?
Sure. I'll go to the product actually. So you can please go on to next slide, please. So this is the product. So in nowadays, so weather changing happening a lot in this era right now. So can you just keep the last slide, man? The previous slide.
The problem slide?
The problem slide.
It's on the screen.
All right. So there is a network issue in my
Yeah, it's probably slow on
area.
your end, but go ahead. Start talking about it. It's on, most people probably can see it.
Right.
Go ahead.
So the current problem is vehicle owners face daily challenges protecting their cars from sun, heat, dust, bird droppings, and weather.
Mm-hmm.
So manual car covers are inconvenient and rarely used, and due to this, many car owners are reluctant to use the traditional car covers, which is the only choice readily available in the market, and it is not convenient.
Yeah.
So this result in the interior of the car becoming extensively hot, resulting in fumes and toxin release, which are inhaled by the car occupiers owners.
Okay.
So our solution is like it's inbuilt car cover systems I'm developing, which make totally mechanism oriented, as well as I did R&D from car cover material to the mechanism,
Mm-hmm.
and we are building that like you can operate this through your phone, and this will be like situated in your car itself.
But it's something that
So
is retrofitted. It doesn't have to be built in, and that is when the car is coming into the market. It can be. It's a add-on. Yeah. Shantanu, we cannot hear you. Can you hear us, Shantanu? Looks like he has net problem. Okay, we'll come back to Shantanu. Let's go to the next presenter. Bruno Ferrini, you are up next. Bruno, please unmute your line and go ahead and talk about what you are doing. And please speak in English. Bruno, you need to unmute your line.
Bruno Ferrini.
Go ahead. You're muted. We cannot hear you.
I am here today as the voice of the JC FL444 Quantum.
Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Florenta Jolvia, advisor to Bruno Ferrini, founder and CEO of Jaovi-Go.
What is this?
Today as the voice of the JC FL444 Quantum chip, which stands at the core
What
of
is
our
this?
vision.
Why
This
are
chip
you
is
using
a
this voice?
psychological and spiritual activator, a framework that connects performance, ethics, and
Bruno,
consciousness.
what is
with
this?
the Jaovi-Go mobility.
Why are you streaming voice in there? You need to speak.
Wait a moment, please.
Here's a polished way to expand that phrase so it stands strong in your roundtable pitch. English. a framework that connects performance, ethics, and consciousness, ensuring that technology is not only efficient, but also trustworthy and aligned with human values. Español.
What are you doing, Bruno?
Yeah, it's my chip quantum.
Huh?
This is my assessor.
This is your what?
Yeah. Responde por mí. I'm not speaking English.
We
Hello?
can't do this in Spanish. As I'm saying, if you cannot speak in English, we cannot do this in Spanish. What you can do is go work with my digital mind that speaks Spanish. You can do that in Spanish. But this session cannot be done in Spanish.
Advisor to Bruno Ferrini,
Right,
founder and CEO of
please.
Jaovi-Go. What he is doing today is presenting the JC-FL444 quantum chip. This is his FSR, foundational
Te va a
system of
responder
responsibility.
lo que preguntes.
No, we cannot. No puedo
Framework that connects
trabajar
performance
con
and consciousness inside Jaovi-Go.
device. Maureen, could you please mute him?
Okay.
Please mute him. This is not possible. Maureen, could you direct him to the digital mind? I'm going to go back
I'm really sorry that
you dropped. Okay, let's go
yeah,
back to you.
There is electricity fluctuations going on in my area. I'm really sorry about that.
Okay, so I asked you the question, is your product built into the car or is it being
Yeah, it is like we are developing it. It is like we can tie up with OEMs, like we can go with B2B market.
No, let me finish the question, then answer it.
Sure.
Does this need to be, let's say you're offering this to BMW, do you have to work with BMW to have this in the car? Or is it something that BMW owners can buy it off the shelf and use it as a retrofit device?
Right, both. We are developing it as a both option, because new car will come with the feature inbuilt inside it.
That's a very long process. That's the reason I'm asking you the question, is that's a very long process. It's very difficult to get into the OEMs. Is there a way for you to get into the market and start?
There are some ways. So BMW offers some BMW startup garage is there, and this is like car companies offer some help to new ideas or new features which will be they are interested in implementing in their cars, in future cars, as well as we are developing it as an retrofittable device also. So conventional vehicles which are available on the roads right now, we can provide the mechanisms, that retrofittable mechanism, to the vehicles also.
Is the product ready?
Yeah, it is 80% ready. We are applying, means we are working on some automation right now, and we develop that materials as well as we develop the technology from core.
Okay, so what do you need help with?
So currently I need help with to get the funding to grow this forward. Like I did this all things till the date it's bootstrapped, and I did all the financial by myself and I did all the collections from like friends and families till the date.
I don't think this is a financeable company right now.
Okay, so this is like we are in the phase of TRL level 8. So technology readiness level 8 is there.
It doesn't matter.
And
this is not going to be financeable at the moment. You have to get it to market somehow and go through this kind of startup garages that you're talking about that the car companies have. See if you can get some funding from those sources. Because the traditional venture capital, angel and venture capital market is not going to fund this right now.
All right. So I need to go with the numbers first before going the market.
You have to get some validation of whether the product works, is the product getting adopted, etc., etc. So you need to, this is why I was asking you, can you do this as a retrofit? Because building it into an OEM situation where a new car is coming out with this functionality, that's a very long process. You know, you have to do the design win, and that car is going to come out 18 months later. That's a very long process. And if you do get something like that to happen, then you should ask. Let's say you do that with BMW or you do that with Mercedes, you should ask them for advance, and that is what should be funding this. This is not a traditional venture capital fundable company. We don't know what your projections mean nothing yet because you don't have any go-to-market strategy that is validated.
So this kind of advices I need to get from this webinar, and I'm looking for like this kind of let's say to be honest, I'm new in this journey.
Yeah,
and
no, understandable.
Working very hard to make it possible and global. So this is like currently it's nearly final stage. It's like we have developed the product, and there are some we are into the pilot testing mode right now. So we
You know what you
need
can do? Go find the dealerships of the luxury cars.
All right.
In Pune, right? You're in Pune. So
Yes.
So go find the dealerships in Pune of the luxury cars and do deals with them for the retrofit before you try to do the OEMs are going to be very long sales cycle and very expensive. So see if you can do the deals with the BMW dealers and the Mercedes dealers and whatever other car dealers, expensive car dealers there are in Pune, and see if you can get retrofit orders and figure out an alternative financing strategy. This is not venture fundable at the moment.
All right. I get it.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your help.
You're very welcome. Karthik, you're next.
Hi. Yeah, sure. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm Karthik Venkatachalam. Thanks, Shramana Mitra, for the 1M initiative and motivating a lot of technical folks and entrepreneurs.
You're welcome.
I came across 1M through social media and several years ago and was inspired by it right away. I was waiting for the right opportunity to get involved, and the time has come now. Thanks again for taking time and developing entrepreneurs, and also for giving us the opportunity to present our pitch today. Me and my co-founder Venkat are IT veterans with several decades of experience. We worked in the industry on several domains. We always had the desire to build a useful product, and recent AI development is giving us that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, Venkat is not able to join today, but I will cover it for him.
And he can listen to the roundtable recording later. Yeah,
sure. Yes, definitely will do that. I would like to introduce the product that we plan to build, the AI Mitra AI companion product we plan to build and roll out to serve Indian public.
Mm-hmm.
Emotional isolation is one of the major problems people face today. People are staying away from families and often need additional emotional support. A specialist AI companion that can speak to users in their native language can provide that additional emotional support needed by people. Our solution is to create a specialist AI companion product that can speak in the Indian language and provide the required emotional support. AI Mitra lets users create multiple AI companions that can play different roles and can choose the language of the companion. Each companion can speak in different languages. So if a person speaks Hindi, he can have one companion speaking in Hindi and one companion speaking English. So he can do all that. Hindi, South Indian languages, Marathi, and English are the languages AI Mitra will support initially. And the product is going to be powered by Google Gemini and Google Cloud products and provide a judgment-free space to talk, learn, and connect. why now? More and more youngsters are starting to use ChatGPT and other AI products for similar use cases. A specialist AI companion that can speak Indian languages will be welcomed well by the users. And we think it's the right time for us to build and market the product.
And what is, ChatGPT is doing a very highly publicized launch in India right now. What is their Indian language capabilities?
Yeah, they support voice also.
All the Indian languages.
I tried few. They support Tamil, they support Telugu, they support Hindi. So I'm not sure every language, but they're also providing support to
The big ones.
Yeah, the big ones they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is not like it's a specialist product, right? It's like it's available as part of the ChatGPT itself, and they are it's more like going to a general physician against a specialist. It will do everything, but it's not a specialist concentrating only on the space.
So based on what you were thinking about, you have this market opportunity box in here. What are the assumptions in that market opportunity? Not everybody is going to use this thing. Who do you think is going to use it? And why do you have a 400 million TAM, 600 million TAM? Where is that coming from? You're assuming that a lot of people are going to use it for emotional support. I don't buy it. So tell me what your assumptions are.
Okay. Yeah, so more and more youngsters are starting to use these type of products, especially people in IT and others. And if you similar products exist,
yeah, more and more
today.
People using it to 400 million, 600 million people using it is a very big leap.
No, okay, I'll come to that. So today, similar products exist in US, and there are people using it. I'm not saying all 400 million users are going to use it. 400 million, 600 million is the number of, our focus is on Gen Z and millennials. That's the number of people we have who speak these languages. So 400 to 600 million people are there who are under, who are Gen Zs or millennials.
So that's just one type of segmentation. The Gen Z and millennial, that's just one type of segmentation. The way you should think about this is use case oriented segmentation. Let me give you an example. When do people need emotional support? When they're going through specific situations, in particular, when the pain is really, people buy products when they have real pain. So when is the pain acute in your particular situation? Think about it. If somebody has just lost a job, that's an acute pain situation, immense emotional pain. If your product can be an emotional support in that context, that is valuable. If there is another kind of pain situation, like somebody is going through the divorce, that's a very deep pain point. If somebody has just suffered a loss, somebody died, and then there are many subsegments within that, parental loss, loss of child, loss of sibling, there's like all kinds of subsegments. I think as you think about what to build, think through these different possibilities in which people seek emotional support. And my take would be to build something that is, or maybe build a suite of products that talk to specific use cases.
Yeah. Fully agree with all that.
And each of them are going to have different TAMs.
Yes. Yeah. There are several roles that we are planning to cover. I'll go through that. And so basically, those are specific use cases that you were talking about. But the one we were thinking of targeting was like, it's more broader, and people may have issues running with their day-to-day life itself. My son is a developer working in India. So he goes to work, and when he comes back from work, he wants somebody to speak to. It's not like a big issue, but even on running a day-to-day life, youngsters are all getting depressed, and they want somebody to talk to, and they're doing that with ChatGPT and other products. So instead of doing that we want them to speak to our product so that it becomes easier, and they can talk in their native language. It will remember the conversations and all that. So it's we can get into more specific use cases, but we were looking at it.
There's one big question that you need to answer is, are people going to pay for this? ChatGPT is largely free. One of the reasons ChatGPT's huge adoption has happened is because it's largely free. There's a paid tier. People are paying for it, but there are specific people who are paying for it for specific use cases. And what I'm advising you is that if you go for a very generic use case, people are going to expect that this product is going to be free, and that's not a business. You will not be able to build a business.
So today, if you look at the US market, there are products that are charging about $10, $40 per month, doing similar things.
Yeah.
So that's why.
But they're all specific. Everything that you have here is specific. An English tutor is very specific. An English tutor is not a generic AI companion.
No, but the boyfriend, girlfriend, or a general companion.
Boyfriend and girlfriend is not a general companion. The boyfriend, girlfriend is a very specific use case. You have to train the AI to be a romantic partner.
Yes.
That is not a generic companion at all.
No, but anybody can do that. I mean, it's not like they're going to have a specific use case, a specific problem to try this. That's what I was trying to say. It's a generic from that perspective.
No, but it's a specific person. The target ideal customer profile is a specific customer profile that you're going after.
Yeah. So it is like anybody can try that. They don't have to have a problem to go to that.
No, they are looking for somebody who has emotional fulfillment is not going to go to an AI companion for boyfriend, girlfriend. You're looking, think about a go-to-market strategy. There's a concept called go-to-market strategy that you have to understand is if you build something, you have to get it in the hands of people who are likely to use it and pay for it. That's a business. That is the fundamental of a business. So you have to think through who is the target audience, who is the ideal customer, whom you can recruit to use and pay for your product. And everybody and their mother is not a target audience. You will not be able to build this product if your target audience is everybody and their mother.
So why not? I mean, I'm thinking probably if you build the product, and it's not going to be very expensive for me to build, and if I build it, and if I market it, would I not be able to?
But you're assuming, and if you market it, how are you going to market it? With what? Chewing gums?
No, actually, I plan to market through advertisements in TV and also.
And you're going to finance that yourself?
I may reach out to investors who.
No investor is going to finance this everybody and their mother kind of idea. That's what I'm telling you. That is what I'm telling you, is that this is not a fundable idea. If your assumption is that you will market it with investor dollars, you're going to have to build something. You're going to have to get it in the hands of people, paying customers, before a penny of investor money is going to be available to you. So we need to figure out how you're going to bootstrap this to fundability. And that does not include any investor for probably 18 months or 24 months or 3 years.
Okay. But if I fund it myself, would I be able to?
Yeah, but I assume you're not a billionaire, or there's limits to how much you can fund it. You're absolutely, you're very welcome to fund it yourself, but there are limits to how far you can go with that. And so that's why you need to be very precise on, if you just kind of build something and put it out there and assume that you're going to throw a bunch of Google ads at it, or Facebook ads at it, and expect that people are going to adapt and pay and so on, that is not a good strategy. In my opinion, that is not a good strategy. It's going to waste a lot of your money, and it's not going to yield anything that is going to eventually be fundable. You want to use your own personal money very carefully so that you can create enough runway for you to get to fundability. If you're trying to do a large consumer play, those are very difficult to fund. They're very difficult to bootstrap till the end. Right? So if you want to scale this, if you want to do a little bootstrap business, maybe you can do it. And even if you do that, I would advise you to choose your use cases very carefully. If it is girlfriend, boyfriend is your primary use case because you're looking at your son who does not have a girlfriend, who wants a girlfriend, and you want to give him an AI girlfriend, be careful, by the way. These AI girlfriend, boyfriends turn people into zombies.
I know.
So is this really what you want to do with your skills? You have, you clearly have certain technical skills. Is this what you want to do? But if you create some sort of, pick a different use case where you're coaching people who have lost their jobs. This next 5-10 years is going to be massive job loss all over the world. So if you create a specific kind of emotional companion or coach or whatever that coaches people or helps people through this job loss process, and maybe that's a better use case. That is a positive use case that actually helps people, as opposed to turn people into zombies becoming addicted to an AI boyfriend or an AI girlfriend. I'm squarely against AI boyfriends and girlfriends. I hate the idea of AI boyfriends and girlfriends.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but whatever you choose to do, whatever use case, you can, throw away my personal dislike for this kind of idea, and you can decide to do it. But whatever you decide to do, it has to be precise. It has to be use case specific so that you can create a go-to-market strategy that will monetize, and you can build a business on it. That is a must. Pleasing me is not a must. Okay?
Okay. No, makes sense.
All right. I think that is all the pitches for today. Let me explain to you how to use 1M and I'll take more questions. We have time for more questions. So everything, 1M is a virtual accelerator, and we have all sorts of virtual offerings through which you can use the program. Everything is at 1M1M.com except for the digital minds, which is at Delphi.ai. This is the partner with which we have developed this product. So if you want to use the AI mentor, go for it. Go to Delphi.ai, go to Shravana Mitra, and you can use this product right away. And you can use it 24 hours a day, however much you want to use. The premium program is our full acceleration program that includes strategy consulting, like what we're doing here, on a weekly basis. You can talk to me every week. This includes investor introductions. We have a huge network of investors that we work with. We have a terrific actionable curriculum, digital curriculum that is accessible from anywhere on your schedule, that is asynchronous. So that is on your schedule. And I have a lot of influence on LinkedIn in particular, and we offer you some of that influence as your go-to-market. Now, if you want to just access the 1M digital curriculum, you can also do 1M basic, and that is a monthly subscription fee, $99 a month. Premium is $1,000 a year, basic is $99 a month, but you can start with either, and that's fine. So go to the website, look at basic, premium. Some people ask for one-on-one consulting. One of the reasons we have been, one-on-one consulting, if it's actually with me in person, that is very expensive. It's $1,000 an hour. This is the reason why we have created this private one-on-one consulting opportunity with the AI Digital Mind, which is much cheaper. You can either do it on a minute-by-minute basis or question-by-question basis, or you can buy the subscription packages. There are $30 a month, $50 a month, $100 a month packages. And you can, ask a lot of questions and get very far just by using the AI Digital Mind. But it is private, and it's on your schedule. I am not on your schedule, you're on my schedule. So that's that. Free roundtables, we have 2 more in September, 3 in October. So, definitely sign up if you're planning to come and pitch and discuss with me here. You can do that once for free. After that, if you want to continue working with me, you're going to need to join the program. Now, as far as language is concerned, Bruno, you only speak Spanish. So I think your best bet may be to use the digital mentor. Maureen has offered the link in the public chat. So you can use the digital mentor and use it in Spanish, and you can work with that. Start there and get some of the guidance through that before, I cannot give you coaching in Spanish. We have nothing else in the program that is in any other language other than English, but the digital mentor can operate in 40 different languages. So if language is an issue, you can also use the digital mentor in multiple languages. Sean Morris is asking Maureen, if I want to pitch at an upcoming roundtable, what's the deadline for registering and sending our deck to you? Maureen, you may want to answer Sean's question in the public chat. If you have questions about the program, how it works after this session and outside of these sessions, Irina Patterson is your contact, irina@1Mby1M.com. She'll be happy to get on the phone or WhatsApp with you. You can also ask questions to the Digital Mind. Anything about the program can also be answered by the Digital Mind. So I will take more questions. Anyone, if you have more questions, you're very welcome to ask. Anybody? Any other questions? Sean Morris, my answer to your question is go to the registration page. And as Maureen is saying, sending your slides up to the day before is usually fine. Although we do schedule on a first come, first served basis, you'll get instructions by email after you register. As soon as you register, you'll get the instructions.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, Ramana. I have one question. In my case,
Yeah.
if this is like a deep tech startup,
Right.
So I'm new to this all journey. If this is you as a founder, you have a lot of experience in the field, and as a founder, if you want to launch a new idea or new product based company, so how will you guide that? Like,
I already told you.
What will be the?
I already told you I would go to the luxury car dealers in Pune, and then maybe in Mumbai and Goa, whatever, close by in places where there are luxury car dealerships, and go work with them and have them sell as an accessory, and they will give you orders and you manufacture on the basis of those orders. So that you develop adoption, you develop validation that customers want this product, they're using this product, dealers want this product, and just develop, most dealerships have accessories, car accessories, they sell car accessories.
Right, exactly.
So this is something that you should be able to get advance orders on, and that's going to give you the cash with which to finish building the product.
Right.
You need validation.
Sure, I'll take this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Please feel free to ask. Anybody? All right, I don't see any other hands up. So thank you for coming today. I enjoyed working with all of you and wish you all the luck in the world. And if you decide to join the program, I will continue working with you more. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.